Hello, welcome to today's episode of Cold Hard Complaints Off Topic. Today we're going to be talking about Westworld Season 2. Spoiler warning, if you haven't seen Season 1, I'm going to be talking about spoilers for Season 1. So if you want to go into the Westworld experience without any spoilers, don't watch this video, man. I never did a review of Westworld Season 1, so I don't really have anything to say about it on this channel. I can give you a quick review of it was okay. It's decent when you binge it. So hey, there's that. Okay, but to Westworld Season 2. Today we're going to be talking about Westworld Season 2, just concluded. It was okay. It wasn't great. So Season 2 of Westworld picks up right where Season 1 ended, which is Dolores, who has finally gained her sentience, her mind. She's a free robot now, and she takes a gun and immediately shoots Robert Ford, who is played by Anthony Hopkins. Shoots him right in the skull, just to show that she is free. She's killing the masters, and she's on her road to freedom. And starts a whole robot revolution. All the robots in the entire park go crazy and start killing people. So it's robot cowboy mayhem, basically. This is one of the main things the whole season starts out with. It's a lot of the early focus of the season is Dolores' uprising and her gaining her freedom, that kind of stuff. We also have the other side of the coin to her, which is Bernard. Bernard is another robot. They're called hosts, but you know, the robots. He's another host, robot man, who is believed to be a normal man, but he's actually a robot man. Crazy. He was made by Ford, the Anthony Hopkins guy, to look like the other founder of the park. He's also dealing with the idea of having freedom, having free will. What am I supposed to do with it? But he's very much not in the kill all humans camp. There's also the Man in Black, a man who dresses in black, played by Ed Harris. His name is William, but he's the Man in Black, so whatever. He is the main antagonist for the series, or supposed to be. He's like, epitomizes what people do in this park. You know, he's a symbol like, this guy's as bad as they get. The people who come into this park, they do bad things to the hosts, the robots, and right. So he is like the main villain for the series. Then there's also Maeve, who is a prostitute, who gains the ability to control other robots with her voice because she was able to wake up, modify herself, and become super smart and super capable. She's on a quest to find her daughter because in a previous life existence she was given a different character role as someone with a daughter. She wants to find that daughter, take care of that daughter, and it leads her through a whole bunch of adventures through Westworld. Those are the four main storylines we have going on here. Dolores, Bernard, both really tie straight into the uprising. We have Maeve kind of off here on a side quest that doesn't really have much consequence to the real story. And we have the Man in Black, who is on a journey of self-discovery while also being the main villain. He's trying to figure out a puzzle that's been left by Ford, the man who founded the park. They have this whole back and forth thing, and there's a puzzle, and he wants to find out the answer to the puzzle because he has this whole psychological trauma going on. He's trying to find answers, trying to find himself, that kind of stuff. Yeah, those basic storylines here. And how do they all mesh together? Well, not great. I'm going to get this right off the bat. I hate Dolores' story. Nearly everything about it. I don't like Dolores as a character. I don't like the performance for Dolores. I feel like she's very flat, very one note. Every scene with Dolores, especially in the first 3 to 4 episodes, feels like it's just her explaining why she's free and she's not a slave anymore. She's a real person. She has free will. She has her own mind. She's gonna take over the humans. She's gonna kill all the humans. I get it. But she has these spiel she goes on, these monologues every single episode, and they get exhausting because it's the exact same things over and over and over again. I get your motivation. And then she has her robot uprising, which is very hard for me to feel for. This is a problem I have in general with robot uprising stories, whether they be Detroit Become Human, a recent video game that came out, or Westworld itself. I never really feel for the robots. They always try to make their story kind of a race allegory, or at least some sort of oppressed minority allegory, right? And I don't think it ever really works with robots because the context of a robot is very different than another human minority. Because they're built. They're made to be something. It's like seeing your Roomba and empathizing with it, right? It's like, oh man, I'm sorry, Roomba, I make you go around and clean the house. You should be free. Oh god, the Roomba has risen against me. I knew this day would come. I'm sorry for making you clean all the floors. I'm just very lazy. I never really understand that. They humanize robots. They make them look like humans. They're human looking, therefore you must give them human emotions. I'm like, okay, I get that. But if you're telling me that I gotta feel like the robot is actually self-actualized free will being, I never really got that feeling, especially from Westworld. Especially with Dolores' story. I always felt like Dolores wasn't really free. It never really felt like she was actually free. She was just expounding a lot. She sounded a lot like Wyatt, which is another character that was put into her, who's a psychopath, who kills people. And that kind of feels like what she's doing. She's a psychopath that kills people. And that doesn't really remind me of the actual Dolores character we saw in season 1. I don't know what Dolores' character is from season 1 to season 2. These are just kind of details with the whole idea of Westworld that don't really make sense to me and don't appeal to me. It's not a great show. I would say the sets, the design, a lot of the acting, it's a really well done show. It's a beautifully shot show, but the actual meat of the story doesn't really grab me that much, especially Dolores. Dolores, she becomes unbearable. She became so bad that I stopped watching from a week-to-week basis. I started the season watching week-to-week, and then I just kept coming away from an episode saying, I don't want to watch this show. I don't like it. I'm not enjoying it. And so I just stopped watching, waited until all the episodes came out. Then on Monday, after the season finale came out, I watched all of them, and binge watching it, it's a great experience. Binge watching this series is so much better than week to week, especially with shows like this, where if you think about it for a long time, Westworld really starts coming apart. Watching it all together, much better experience. It's a very binge-watchy show. You don't really have time to complain about it or to think about it, which is probably not a good thing to say about a piece of media, is that you don't get time to think about how bad it is. But for the show, for presentation, really improves it. So if you're gonna watch it, binge watch it. As for the other storylines, Bernard is one I typically find more interesting because he's more of a gray character. He's someone who believed he was human. Now he knows he's a host, and he has this turmoil inside of him where he wants the host to be free, but he also doesn't want to kill all humanity. He knows that there's innocent, good people out there. He doesn't want to murder everybody. Dolores does want to murder everybody. And so it's a lot easier to understand his perspective on things because he's not a revenge-killing murder bot who doesn't want to kill everybody. Going to the Man in Black's storyline, William's storyline, there is actually some interesting ideas in that as well, at least in the way they're presented. There's ideas about immortality with the hosts being able to copy their minds and putting them into robots. Really interesting twists further down into the season, gut-wrenching kind of stuff. You can see how the world of Westworld fragments a person's mind, fries his brain. Cool story, sometimes doesn't always work, but overall, cool story. Last one I want to touch upon is Maeve's. It's the least impactful on the story. So Maeve's storyline is she wants to find her daughter. The daughter she had at one point in the storyline. So it's that quest to find her daughter. She has some humans with her. She has some other robots with her. And they go on this whole quest. They go to a samurai land, Shogun world, which is cool. It's a nice change of pace setting, but it did feel a little pandery there. I'm not going to argue too much. I did like the whole aesthetic of the world, and it was cool, but it kind of felt unnecessary. It was a complete side quest. This season could be a lot shorter if you cut out nearly all of Maeve's stories, because almost none of them have any real impact on the show itself. What does her getting her daughter accomplish towards the main plot of the revolution? Not that much. What does her hanging out and going to Shogun's world really accomplish? Nothing, really. A guy gets a phone. That's about it. And now we're going to get into the spoilers, because spoilers are when Maeve's story actually starts to matter for the plot. So from here on out, I'm going to go with spoilers. Click to thing on screen for when to not be spoiled. Okay, there we go. Maeve's storyline is that she learns the ability to control the mainframe Wi-Fi network for the robots, and she can control robots with her mind. And the company in charge of Westworld, the people running Westworld, they find that out and they're like, hey, this is something really cool that we can use to stop the robot uprising that's going on. So they take this ability that Maeve has, puts it in this other robot here, and they hardwire it so that when she goes near other hosts, the hosts will start fighting each other like they're zombies or something like that. Like they show them like biting at each other, smacking each other, killing each other. And it's like their way to kill off the robots. And that comes to play when there's the big climax at the end where all the hosts are going through a big doorway to get into their Wi-Fi dimension where they'll be completely free from the humans. And then when the hosts are going there, she comes up, infects everybody with the virus, and almost all the hosts kill each other. And Maeve's daughter makes it, and Maeve's daughter's new mother makes it. Maeve doesn't. Maeve dies. Nearly everybody dies. Season 2 finale. Everyone dies. I guess the entire point of her story was that she learned this ability. They used this ability to kill most of the hosts. Okay, there could have been other ways to do that. There could have been other plot devices. I don't think we needed to waste as much time on Maeve's story as we did, because it's the 4th storyline. It's a 4th of the season, basically. And a lot of time is dedicated to Maeve's daughter, and all this kind of stuff. And it all feels like filler, which is a big problem I have with season 2, is a lot of it feels like filler. It either feels like redundant storylines or redundant conversations happen, like Dolores' monologues. Her monologues feel the same every single time, and I just can't help but mentally check out during them because I've already heard it. And I get a huge aspect of Westworld Season 1 was the repetition of the host's world. You have a lot of repeating beats. You have the automatic piano that plays. You have them going through their everyday lives, seeing how everything is formulated, how everything is programmed, how they are all robots going through a system. The repetition makes sense as a note for the show, but that's not the kind of repetition I have a problem with. The repetition I have a problem with is repetitive dialogue, repetitive storylines, plots not going anywhere for a long time, just spinning their tires. Bernard's the only one that really feels like he has a story, is constantly moving towards something, has setbacks, has issues. His storyline is the most compelling by far. Maeve's storyline has some good moments in it, some good characters, some good lines. It's enjoyable. It's not great. Dolores's is just god-awful, and the Man in Black's is just up and down and kind of all over the place. So it leaves me after the season feeling very confused, basically, on how I feel, because there were parts that I liked. The majority of it, I didn't. It's just kind of exhausting. The season finale, though. The season finale was crazy in a lot of ways, and horrifying in others. The season finale basically ties up a lot of storylines that were started in season 1. Maeve finds her daughter. Daughter goes and is safe now. Maeve dies. The writer guy, he gains redemption. He believes in Maeve. He sacrifices himself. He dies. The bandits who are with Maeve, they don't learn anything. They die. Bernard and Dolores find the actual, the database showing all the minds of all the humans that have gone through Westworld. They see this whole thing where they've mapped out the personalities of all the 4 million people who've been through Westworld. And Dolores kind of gets like, I'm going to have this plan. I'm going to go and I'm going to destroy all the humans. I'm going to conquer this world. And Bernard's like, no, and shoots her in the face. Then it turns out that Bernard had the entire time been faking this whole thing. They're doing this whole multiple timelines thing, that's a Nolan Brothers thing to do. The Nolan Brothers, they love to do that. Different timeline kind of things. They even did it in Dunkirk. Dunkirk is not a complicated movie. That even plays with continuity and timelines. It is their thing. They are very into it. So, the timeline thing. There's the timeline where you're in the present, where after the robot uprising is quelled, and the park is safe now. And then there is the right after the events of season 1, where the uprising is happening. So you go between these two narrative points. And this is where they converge, where you learn that Bernard, at the end of the uprising, realizes that after he kills Dolores that, you know what, she's kind of right. They need to be a little militant, for the host to survive, and she brings her back as a human, as a copy of a human. They kill that human. Surprise, that human was a host for a bunch of the season, and she kills everyone else, and then they do things. What do they even really accomplish at that point? Basically, all that happens is Dolores then kills Bernard, and then runs away to the human land because she looks like a normal human, and she goes away and escapes, and then makes Bernard again because she says, I want to kill all the humans. You want to stop me, and if I was a human, I would have brought you back, but I'm not, so I did. Which, I don't know what that has to do with anything. I guess she's saying that because she's not human, she knows that she should bring back the one person who wants to stop her, which I don't know what the point they're trying to say there is. Basically, it's a writing tool to say, hey, we need to keep more characters in here. But at the end of season 2, basically everyone is dead or off Westworld. Westworld itself, that storyline basically is done. There's nothing going on there now. The robot uprising is gone. All the hosts are dead. All the humans we care about are either dead or they're back to their normal lives. Most of them are just dead. And we're in the real world now. And then they say there's going to be a season 3. So I was kind of with the finale there when they were killing off everyone. You know, they were they were laying waste to their cast, right? And like, we're closing up all the storylines. This is where it ends, guys. And then I find out there's a season 3 because there, of course, there is. But it doesn't feel like there's more stories really to tell. Like, the story of Westworld feels like it's closed at this point. Westworld itself is done. The hosts are dead. The hosts that escaped, their mind consciousness went into a thing, and they're all happy now. They're safe. It's basically just Dolores and Bernard, and they'll like decide what happens with the fate of the world, I guess. And there's a post-credit scene with the man in black who is a host now. He's trying to gain eternal life or something. It doesn't really matter to me. None of this stuff really matters to me. I'm really unexcited for season 3 because I have nothing to look forward towards. Like, Westworld itself is exciting because it is a cowboy world combined with a robot uprising. It's a nice setting. And now they're saying, okay, we're going to take you out of this setting and we're going to put you into the normal world. And then it's just going to be Dolores and Bernard trying to go back and forth, doing something. This season finale really just left me unexcited for the fact that the story was continuing because I don't feel like it should. It felt like it ended. I feel like the story ended, but it didn't. They're telling me there's more, and I don't like that. So the season finale was very all over the place. A lot of things that they did I thought were interesting. Killing off all their casts felt like it was building to some sort of climax. And then the ending ripped that feeling away from me, saying, no, there's actually not a climax. There's going to be another season, so if you like that, it's too bad. We're going to go into more stories that you didn't find interesting. Maybe they will make them interesting. Who knows? Who can say? All right, so Westworld Season 2. Overall opinion on it, ups and downs, mainly downs. It's not well formulated. It's not a very intelligent story at times. It has a very Nolan-esque quality to it, where Christopher Nolan movies feel like they're intelligent movies, when most of the times the stories are very dumb. Like Inception. Inception is a story that feels like it's very smart, when in reality, it's not that really. It's a heist movie. Westworld has the same problem. It feels like things are very important and very deep and philosophical, but when you pull back and kind of look at it, it's not really. The questions they're asking aren't really that in-depth. I don't really feel like they explore the whole free will kind of thing that thoroughly in ways that I haven't experienced in other media. It doesn't feel like it does anything that's really outside the box, and the season just kind of sets up for a third season that I'm just not excited for and wish wouldn't happen. It's not a bad binging experience if you want a show that is very competently made. Very beautifully shot, cool music, nice atmosphere, good settings, amazing costume design, really good acting. All the parts to it are there. The story itself isn't. So there's a lot of aspects to the show that I would enjoy, that I think you would enjoy, but the story itself holds it back and makes it a very, what did I just watch kind of thing. So I think that kind of wraps up my thoughts on this. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Cold Hard Complaints Off Topic. I will be getting back to more videos soon. There has been a little bit of a lull between videos here, but I plan on stepping things up in the next few months here, trying to get back on track. I got a video coming out soon that I've been working really hard on. It features a certain card game, so that might be pretty exciting to people. So hey, we'll see what happens with that. Again, thank you very much for watching. You have a nice day, and like, comment, subscribe, or whatever, because I should say that. Ring the bell. Ring my bell. Thank you.